The moment Meng heard about the palace of the god of light, his eyes widened in shock. A suspicious look appeared on his face as he muttered in an astonished tone, "Isn't all of this a little too much of a coincidence? The palace of the god of light has been missing for nearly 1,000 years, so why would it suddenly appear now? And how did the demon emperor learn about it so quickly and make a move almost immediately?" Then Meng turned toward Feng Ziyu and said in a serious voice, "Send this information back to the fortress. Also notify Divine General Yi Hao. If anything goes wrong, activate the Eternal Great Wall immediately." Hearing those orders, Feng Ziyu was visibly shocked and asked, "Activate one of humanity's ultimate trump cards, the Eternal Great Wall? Is the situation really that serious?" At that moment, Meng sensed not only the presence of demons, but also the aura of dragons lingering in the area. His expression became even grimmer as he replied, "I can also sense the presence of the dragon race here. This matter is probably not as simple as it appears. It may very well be a trap. Go." Feng Ziyu immediately nodded and teleported away. Meanwhile, Meng stepped forward and said, "If that's the case, then I'll personally enter the abyss and take a look. With the Shengxia Tower in my possession, I can bring those two back at any time." After teleporting away, Feng Ziyu quickly arrived inside the fortress. The moment Yi Hao saw him, he immediately stepped forward and asked in a serious voice, "Xiao Ziyu, where is Lord Meng?" Feng Ziyu hurriedly answered, "Lord and has already entered the abyss. He also instructed us to be ready to activate the Eternal Great Wall at any moment." The moment Yi Hao heard those words, his expression changed dramatically. He immediately turned toward the military personnel behind him and ordered, "Quickly, inform all other fortresses and put them on full combat alert." Just then, a sudden disturbance spread through the fortress formation. The enormous eye within the formation began producing powerful fluctuations, causing everyone to look toward the horizon. In the distance, an enormous army was rapidly approaching the fortress. Countless demons and dragons were advancing together, clearly preparing to launch an all-out assault. The moment the defenders saw this terrifying sight, alarmed shouts erupted throughout the fortress. "Enemy invasion! Demons and dragons detected!" Seeing the two races advancing together, Feng Ziyu was completely stunned. Instantly recalling Meng's earlier warning, he exclaimed in shock, "Lord Meng?" Lord Meng was right. The demons and dragons have really joined forces. At the same time, Yi Hao stared at the overwhelming enemy army charging toward the fortress. Anger flashed across his face, but there was also a trace of tension hidden in his eyes. Tightening his grip on his weapon, he shouted in a stern voice, "Connect all fortresses. Activate the Eternal Great Wall." The moment the order was issued, the Eternal Great Wall began activating. A magnificent golden barrier soon emerged and expanded around the fortress, completely enveloping it in a powerful protective shield. At the same time, countless dragon warships suddenly appeared in the sky. The sight of so many warships instantly shocked everyone inside the fortress. "It's the dragon warships. The dragon race army is attacking." Looking at the massive fleet filling the heavens, Yi Hao's expression became extremely serious. Drawing his sword, he roared, "Activate the formation." The soldiers immediately followed his command and fully activated the fortress formation. A vast amount of energy erupted from the fortress and surged toward the approaching dragon warships. Powerful energy attacks shot across the battlefield one after another, racing toward the enemy fleet. However, the dragon warships were also deploying powerful defensive barriers as they continued advancing forward at full speed. Meanwhile, within Antair's territory, Antair had already sensed the battle taking place. Looking into the distance, he muttered, "The war has already begun. But that kid is still learning the soul-splitting method and comprehending laws." At that moment, our hero was completely immersed in cultivation. He was focused entirely on learning the soul-splitting method, causing Antair to glance at him and wonder whether he should interrupt him or not. Inside his spiritual world, our hero was fully absorbed in meditation. As he gradually grasped the soul-splitting method, he thought to himself, "So this is the soul-splitting method. I can feel my soul splitting into two halves." Using the soul-splitting method, his soul had indeed divided into two parts. As a result, within his spiritual world, he was simultaneously absorbing energy from both the Dragon Soul Crystal and the King Kunlun Snowgrass. The two treasures were cultivating alongside him, continuously pouring their power into his body. Then, after some time, the King Kunlun's snowgrass gradually merged with his body. As it fused with him, a mysterious law power began flowing out from within him. The moment Antares sensed the Kunlun power emanating from our hero, his eyes widened in surprise. Looking at him in disbelief, he thought, "This kid really is a genius. He just learned the soul-splitting method. Yet he has already comprehended the law of life. Although this law is still very weak, it is undeniably a true law." A tremendous amount of law power continued pouring out of our hero's body. Seeing this, Antares quickly opened his jaws and swallowed part of the escaping energy before releasing a powerful breath toward him. As a result, our hero's concentration was broken. Opening his eyes, he looked slightly irritated and asked, "Antares, why did you deliberately interrupt me? Did something happen?" Antares immediately became serious and replied, "The Abyss Demons and the Dragon Race have joined forces. They are currently attacking your human race." The moment our hero heard that, he immediately stood up in shock and quickly asked, "Is the invasion really that large?" Antares nodded and said, "You humans have the Eternal Great Wall, so protecting yourselves shouldn't be a problem. But that's not the troublesome part." As he spoke, Antares suddenly stopped midway through his sentence. Seeing him hesitate, our hero's expression became serious. Looking directly at him, he asked, "So what's the problem?" Antares stared at him for a moment before finally saying, "Your 3 teachers have all entered the Abyss world." The moment those words reached his ears, our hero was completely stunned. A layer of cold sweat immediately formed on his forehead as he asked in disbelief, "What are you talking about?" Seeing how nervous he had become, Antares tried to calm him down. "Relax, kid. The 3 of them are incredibly powerful. They won't go down that easily. And even if you rush over there, you're still no match for the Demon Emperor." However, our hero's expression remained grave as he said, "My teachers wouldn't suddenly enter the Abyss together without a reason. Unless the Abyss side has thrown out a bait that they simply couldn't refuse." As he continued thinking about the situation, his expression suddenly changed. A frightening realization seemed to strike him. "No, I'm afraid the Demon Emperor's real target isn't my teachers at all." His eyes narrowed sharply as he continued, "He wants to use them to lure me out. He wants to use them to lure me out. I have to find a way to deal with the Demon Emperor." Suddenly, an idea flashed through his mind. His eyes lit up as he shouted, "I've got it! Antares, send me to the lower space immediately." Hearing that, Antares instantly understood what he was planning. Looking at him seriously, he warned, "Let me tell you this in advance. Fusing with Greta is not an easy task. If you're planning to use that power against the Demon Emperor, you'd better be extremely careful." Hearing the warning, our hero simply nodded with a determined expression and said, "You don't need to worry about that." After that, Antares directly teleported him away. The very next moment, our hero teleported directly from Antares' territory to the Divine Summer Ancient City located within the lower space of the ancient trial ground. The instant he arrived, he immediately rushed toward the Thunder Tower standing high above the city at full speed. Seeing our hero heading toward the Thunder Tower with such urgency, one of the seniors in the ancient city was instantly surprised and muttered, "Divine General Lin is in such a hurry. Something major must have happened." At that moment, the sky above the city suddenly began turning dark. Soon afterward, massive armies of demons and dragons appeared in the heavens and started advancing toward the city. The sight instantly caused panic throughout the entire city. Not good. The dragon race and the demons have joined forces. The entire city erupted into chaos. Seeing the approaching enemy forces, the senior immediately shouted to everyone, "Quick, activate the formation. The entire city is entering a state of war." The moment his orders were given, all military personnel rushed to their assigned positions. Under the senior's command, the city's defensive formation was activated, and a massive golden barrier quickly spread across the entire city, completely enveloping it in a protective shield. Meanwhile, our hero continued racing toward the Thunder Tower at maximum speed. His expression was incomparably serious, and the urgency in his eyes was impossible to hide. As soon as he arrived near the Thunder Tower, he unleashed a tremendous amount of energy and merged it with the tower. Then, clenching his fists, he shouted with absolute determination. This time, even if it costs me my life, I will take control of Gurita. I cannot lose my 3 teachers.